Hi, Mark Hambrick here. Weekly update for the MSA for Friday, June the 19th. Well, what a hot spell we're having, and the water is warming up. However, we don't know exactly how warm it is without the remote temperature monitoring stations that is operated by the Miramichi River Environmental Assessment Committee. So I'm not sure how DFO is going to do this monitoring, if they need to implement the warm water closures, but we really need those operating again. And apparently, they have about $40,000 worth of monitoring equipment, but it takes about $10,000 a year to operate. So they're looking for some government grants to make that happen. So hopefully the importance of that will be very obvious and they'll get that money. And so we'll have the temperature data. But the other thing that's happening is we're getting the Gasbro fishery that's here. It's our only indication of what the fish are coming into the river. And they're catching lots of Gasbro, still got lots of striped bass in their traps, and they're catching some salmon. Now, some of the Gasbro fishermen say they're catching 2 or 3, but there was one there that had 12. One was a large salmon. Most of them are gross, so there is a gross run starting. So the only other index that will be is the barrier pools on the northwest Miramichi and the Dungarvan this summer, which now the MSA has taken over the operation from DNR. So the staff started this past Monday. They got the fences in and are able to start now counting fish. And they'll be manned 24 hours a day, and those fish will be protected there all summer. So starting next week, we'll have counts that will go to DNR, and so we'll at least have some index of what's happening. Want to talk a little bit about the public perception survey that MSA commissioned back in April. This was done by Narrative Research out of Halifax. And it was a survey of roughly 400 New Brunswickers to get their perception of what's happening with Atlantic salmon. And so from the survey, most New Brunswickers are aware of environmental issues, but only 2/3 of the population realize that salmon are in decline. There were a few more Miramichiers that knew it was in decline, but in general, 2/3. And I guess when you asked them what they thought the primary reasons were, it was water pollution and overfishing. However, in the Miramichi, they attributed mostly to invasive species. So there is an awareness of the smallmouth bass in our watershed. People, when they were asked, do you support a recovery, the majority of people said yes, there should be efforts made to restore our salmon. Anyway, we've put this whole survey, a number of questions and interesting answers, on our website at www.miramichisalmon.ca. So it's very interesting to read through that just to feel what the public feels about salmon. Have just finished our first online auction this spring, and it was a tremendous success, better than what we had anticipated. We raised a little over $10,000, and we want to thank those sponsors that donated to that and for people participating. And our next online auction is now live. So we have some great trips on this time around to some very nice private camps. We have some antiques, we have, prints from famous artists, and of course we have some fishing gear and clothing in this auction as well. So go online again to our website, and latest on the smallmouth bass situation is once we submitted our application to DFO, in 60 days we would have an answer. That 60 days has come and gone. They gave us a new deadline of June the 8th, and the last one was June the 15th. Well, at our meeting on June 15th, they still have not done proper consultation with First Nation communities yet, and they're not exactly sure when or how long that will take. However, we gave them the deadline is that we have to know by the end of June, or else the eradication cannot take place in 2020 because we need to order the product. We're not going to order the product if we don't have a permit. It would be irresponsible to spend $400,000 on rotenone. And so we need a decision. So we're hoping to have that decision by the end of June. And if that is the case, we will proceed to order the rotenone and do the eradication of smallmouth bass in Miramichi Lake, the little brook that leads from it called Lake Brook, and a section of the Southwest Miramichi this September. And if we don't, then I'm not sure where the future lies. But this is an invasive species that we must get out of our watershed. It will change our ecosystem forever. And yes, no one wants to kill fish, but sometimes you got to do it in order to protect all the fish that we cherish. So anyway, that's it for this week. Talk to you next week.
Since the recording of this video, the Department of Natural Resources and Energy Development has closed all Crown land to industrial and recreational activities immediately due to extremely dry conditions across New Brunswick. We urge all of our members to stay out of the woods this weekend. Our forests are tinder dry, and right now the smallest spark could ignite a major wildfire that could threaten people's homes and destroy wildlife habitat. Even the heat coming off of the bottom of your vehicle while you are driving could ignite the grass and start a major wildfire.